We're talking about life purpose. And the question I get asked is, how do you know there's much more to do with your life? How do I know that I still got a purpose, the meaning, or truth? The answer, as cynical as it might sound, is you are still alive. And what you got to recognize, and you know this, there's a restless agitation, an irritation that seems to burn within you with passion. This dormant potential power still has to germinate and see the light of day. There's a fire that is waiting to be burned, and it's awaiting its moment. And this can occur, and this you got to recognize, is regardless of age. Whether you're 16 or 60, recognize you represent infinite energy, possibilities, passion, and I'll use the word even love. What you do with it is very much up to you. When we exceed and recognize as well to society's limiting beliefs, we then live in the shadow of that absolute potential. Our spirit is in fact suppressed. What then happens, that stifling of that spirit manifests as that irritation, that frustration, that anger. You know this deep down, you are not being true to who you are. You know, then you are playing games in this world as per the societal expectation. You know then you are living a life that is mundane, ordinary, and mediocre. You're compromising and manipulating who you truly are to fit into societal norms. You then seek to live then by the ego standards. And these standards are praise, approval, acknowledgement, affirmation, and award at a societal level. All self-appreciation in an effort to fulfill the deepening emptiness within us by getting the affirmation from the world without. So we try to fill up the abyss that exists within us, that infinite gap, by getting affirmation and acknowledgement from the world without. You wonder then why your world seems empty, why the love does not feel real, why regardless of fame, fortune, power, there is no fulfillment. For as much as your mind is appeased, your spirit remains enslaved. With the mind wearing the crown and determining your destiny, what it does is it places ego on the throne. Still, the mind endeavors to prove its worthiness as king and its credibility as a ruler. Thus, this mind does as per ego, judgment, and criticism. The mind's ego, all it does is seeks comfort, and when it finds that comfort, it indulges and it becomes complacent. Therein, your mind, my mind, and ego becomes our very worst own enemy. As all that exists within the mind and ego, all that does is keeps us comfortable. But we got to recognize that the boundaries to that mind and ego, the ones that we have to break free of, is veiled by fear. In fact, fear becomes the walls that keeps us in this mind and ego. It keeps us in this negativity. Our thoughts, our feelings become negative. What this does, it gives birth to these demons, these monsters within ourselves. Call it what you will. What we do then is fight with this external world, assuming that the danger is on the outside. But the demons and monsters are actually internal, and they're destroying us from within. The mind then finds fault, and the ego endeavors to protect itself from what it perceives as the big bad world. Yet what's happening is this ego is growing stronger within. It's building up, it's getting dangerous, it's destroying us. It leads us to depression, it leads to anger, it leads to irritation, it leads to every single negative vice. You may then ask, what is the solution? What you and I need to do is let go of the fear and go deeper within. Seek that which is known only to yourself. And this is tough. You have to get to your integral self, your authentic self, your true nature, your uniqueness, and your individuality. which you'll find is different to everyone else. What we need to find, in fact, is our spirit. You may argue your soul. In going into that journey, in going into that dark, painful place, it is very, very, very important that you show compassion, kindness, and care. In fact, the word love towards yourself. Because you need to allow your true child that is within you to feel safe enough to come out and play. That vulnerable child, that one who felt harm and pain and embarrassment and even humiliation. Let you not be brutal and shouted out loud at by your very own self. That child needs to come out again. Then your authentic soul feels safe to explore in this universe rather than being restricted by the mind to this material world. Then you are living true to yourself. Then that child that has come out will blossom and become the adult you may have become. By conquering your mind, what you paradoxically do, how do you conquer the mind? Is interestingly by compassion and love. The mind bows then as a servant to a greater will and purpose. The mind appropriately becomes a servant to your spirit. The soul then comes out to play in love and joy. The soul then expresses and manifests what it always was meant to do. All those generations of genetic potential gets expressed within you. You then choose from the treasure chest of life your offering to the world. You then express who you are in absolute abundance and love. However, at the same time, be wary that you don't bring the mind and the ego to the fore by being arrogant and obnoxious. It is absolutely important as you express in abundance and love, you remain humble, grateful, and thankful. As we say nowadays, show gratitude. Remember, it is the universe that allows you to play. When what you do, what you express, what you manifest is in alignment with what the universe wants, you are being true to what you are and what you were born to do. The obstacles and challenges you experience and encounter are there, in fact, as guides to walk you on a certain path. So all the people you meet, be they good, bad, right, wrong, positive, negative, all circumstances you encounter are there to grow and not to impede you on your journey. When you're faced with the obstacle and challenge, all you need to decide whether you stop or persevere. If you stop, you're accepting the limits of your mind and ego. If you persevere, you acknowledge your spirit and soul. In fact, something very important, if you try to sometimes conquer it, stand up and confront, recognize you decide you may be like a rock, but be careful. As much as you may say your mind is strong, be wary, even the strongest rock can be broken. However, if you choose to, when you experience an obstacle or challenge, to flow past it like water, you're allowing yourself to be abundant and not being defined by the obstacle. The universe constantly observes whether you are driven by logic and rationality of the visible world or propelled by a faith and conviction of an invisible spirit. When you take the part of spirit, you are powerful beyond measure. Important though, as we said again, as I will say again, to remain in absolute obeisance to that which is far more powerful than you and I are. Then every thought, emotion and action are aligned with the greater cause and purpose. There is no effort then. It becomes effortless. It is the universe that works through you, that is acting through you as you play. You become mindful in an interesting way and mindless at the same time. You become bounded but boundless. You have boundaries but there are no boundaries. It becomes the most powerful paradox. where there's tension of the world at the one end and the universe at the other, because the playground you and I are playing in is the world, but you're expressing a universal cause. You are focused on the goal, yet aware of all the world that is surrounding you. Work has become play, and play has become work. You and I, we all have a unique skill to bring to the fore. Who you truly are, your individuality, is what you were born to express. For it is in the universe's playing field we express the abundance of who we are. You flow with the universe, and the universe flows with you. So be free, live free, as you are always meant to be. Enjoy your amazing journey, for therein lies your life purpose. So until next time, take care, goodbye.